Let's get this party on the road. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Joe Vore Podcast, JV Podcast Network. The Snowman is back. Producer Snowman with the Johnny Paul and Larry Nance Sr. jersey, little throwback from the 80s there. Then we have Ryan Cooper with you playing a lot of Papa Shot these days, Coop, or what's going on back there?
Yeah, actually, my wonderful roommates surprised me by completely rearranging the dining room. When I mean rearranging it, I mean they pushed the table in the corner and they bought a giant kids basketball hoop, and
Perfect.
That's kind of what the backdrop is.
Yeah. That's ideal. That works. It's very like Woody Page. I feel like you're like one of the squares on what's that show? Around the Horn?
Around the Horn. Yeah, with
yeah.
What's it? That
Tony
dude. I always
Tony
I
Reale.
like Woody Page for sure. He's my favorite.
Yeah, he's good.
Oh, yeah.
He always has. He's the one that has the cool things written on the chalkboard, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
they all do. They all have something written on the chalkboard.
Right.
That's
They
part
all-
of the whole.
They
That's
all
part
have
of the whole
something,
gig.
man. Everyone has their stick. So what's your stick, Ryan? What do you got going on? We have nothing prepared, so this could flow.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Or this could just take off and just be nonsense.
Oof. Well, I guess I gotta watch what I say then. I'm just kidding.
Jesus.
But no, seriously. Nothing, man. I've been traveling around. I'm in sales. I do home improvement sales.
Heck yeah.
Watching way too much Joe Rogan. I recently just got my car back. My car was in the shop for a pretty long time, and
Yeah.
so I binge watched like probably every Joe Rogan podcast the last like 200 episodes. So not really a whole lot. I mean, just kind of being lazy and soaking in all the crazy shit that's going on that you just can't get away from. It's freaking madness. I got yelled at. I was in the parking lot of my apartment complex. I got yelled at by a middle-aged woman for not wearing a mask in the parking lot. I mean, there's nobody in the parking lot. I mean, it's just crazy shit. Like, you just can't leave the house without something crazy happening. So I guess that's what I'm up to. What are you guys up to?
Yeah, we're up to I don't know, Snowman, what are you up to, man?
Man, I played 18 holes of golf today.
Oh, this guy's living
Got
the
after
life.
it on the links back at home. The uncle from Florida came up, so I had to show him how, because down in Florida, that's like all you do is play golf and like drink vodka and
Fight
go to
alligator.
the beach. Yeah, exactly.
Vodka. That's interesting.
I don't know. That could be totally wrong. I don't know.
It depends on where you are. Like a nice like Grey Goose will fly in Miami, but if you're like in Tampa, they just drink lighter fluid, I'm pretty sure.
I'm more of a Tampa guy.
Really?
No.
No big
No.
surprise.
Dude, everything's like, have you ever seen? Just type in Tampa news on Google.
I'm gonna do it right now. We're gonna
Do it.
You
Just
keep
do Tampa man.
Yep.
And then
Tampa man, there it is.
Just search.
That was
Tampa
going
man
on
killed by
Twitter.
police. Tampa man found dead. Tampa man killed.
No, this is not what I'm looking for.
Tampa man in quarantine alone with hundreds of parrots, but says it wasn't by choice.
Yeah. That's more ideal. We're actually Tampa's probably not the best example. You want more like Central Florida. Have you ever driven through the back roads of Florida?
No.
It's like a giant. If I know meth's made in labs, but if meth was made in a field, it'd be a meth field, like a giant meth field. That's the best way for me to describe it.
Hybrid. Like I feel like down in Tampa, they have that when you're traveling and they have those rest stops and there's like a Long John Silver's and a Taco Bell and a Pizza Hut Express all in one. I feel like in Tampa they just got like meth. They got just like brothels and then moonshine.
Alligators.
One-stop shop.
Just alligators.
It just says alligators, and they're just kind of roaming around, and people just, just recreation and sport just kind of mess with alligators.
Yeah, once a year, some guy's crazy redneck Uncle Buck, he like tries to catch an alligator, gets his arm bit off, and it's like the whole town is like, Uncle Buck doesn't have an arm because he got bit off by an alligator. You know what I mean? Like and Uncle Buck also is the county's largest meth producer. So it's like a triangle of just, he's the definition of inner Florida,
Happiness.
inland Florida.
You know who I'm picturing right now? Have you guys seen Dirty Grandpa?
I am late.
I've heard of it.
Okay, so Dirty Grandpa, De Niro and Zac Efron. But anyways, they're traveling down to like Georgia and Florida. De Niro's wife just passed away, and Efron is his grandson, so that would have been his grandma. Anyways, they're down in Florida, and Rafi from The League, we all know who Rafi is.
Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah. So he plays this crazy guy who has like one of those like Ron John surf shop type places. You walk in, you can get like a little Florida license plate with your name on it for like $200 or whatever it is.
I have like 3 of those.
Super overpriced. You can get like the worst t-shirts of all time that'll like just fall apart somehow, even though they're
right.
And he's just like, you walk in and they're like, what are you guys doing? And he walks in, he has like a horse head on and he goes, no, like out of nowhere, he just goes, no, I will not sell drugs to you. Like,
oh yeah.
And they're just like, what are you talking about? He goes, oh, you guys aren't drugs. Well, in that case, welcome to drugs. And he just is like opening up his jacket, like opening up all these like trap windows, and there's just drugs and everything everywhere. Like I'm just picturing that guy right now who just has like this serious business, but inside just has like every drug imaginable, and everyone just knows that's the guy, and he's kind of in with the law enforcement. It's not a violent thing. It's just like, yeah. Like our job's stressful. We want drugs, so we go to Rafi and we don't mess with them.
Yeah, no, yeah, Rafi. And then his neighbor down the road's Joe Dirt. And then you got Honey Boo Boo's third niece by incest lives on the right. There's a Texaco in the town, and since 65% of the town can't read, illiterate, they think they live in Texas, but it's just a Texaco station in the middle of Florida. That's kind of what we're dealing with here.
And all the families make it like a big day. It's like a big event when they all go get together in the minivan and go to Publix on Saturday.
Oh, absolutely. And you know it's
what's
bad
going on here?
You know it's bad. You know it's bad when their cousins from Arkansas like hold their nose in them. They're like, dude.
Yeah, the people from Arkansas are like, look at these, man.
Look at these savages. Look at these animals. These are complete animals.
Serious, Clark?
White privilege, not these people. Not these crazy people.
That's crazy. There's some parts of Florida where just like, it's just, you have like Miami, which is just insane, just another beast. And then you have like Jupiter, Florida, where all the golfers live, and it's just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Like, it's not even, if it wasn't for the rain and thunderstorms, it's like, it's not Florida. Like that, I don't count that as Florida.
It's crazy. It's crazy during the Gulf. You look at all those guys, and it's just hometown Jupiter, Florida. I'm like, whoa, are these people born here, just turning out fucking golf?
That's where they all live, man.
Maniacs.
I can't lie, I don't watch a whole lot of golf, but I'm not shocked by that. That's not something that completely shocks me. I mean, just like the amount of Under Armour and Nike Swish T-shirt polos that you see when you go through Jupiter, Florida, should tell you. They all golf. I mean, I just played 9. I heard you say you golf age. I just played 9. I hit somebody's house. First drive of the game. Just freaking. I played baseball. I swung it like a baseball bat.
Yes, no, that's
and
entirely what happened.
I could see it just zoomed right, and I was like, oh no. And it just clank.
I've spent the last like 7 or 8 years correcting my baseball swing because I stopped playing baseball as a freshman.
Yeah.
And I started golfing when I got to high school. And now going into my senior year of college, I've basically had, 6-7 years of golf to correct that. And I still open the club face and swing it like a baseball bat probably 40% of the time.
Yeah, it's a habit. It's not, especially like I was a pull hitter. Like I'm so like golf and me just don't get along. But like I'm also like a business guy, and I like business, and I like golf.
It's so much fun to go out and just shoot the shit.
Oh yeah. Like especially with people from work and stuff. I'm kind of afraid because like they think they would expect me to be better than I am at golf, than I actually am. So,
Well, see, that's where you just gotta talk yourself down. You just have to talk yourself down. Man, I fucking suck. I'm the worst.
Dude,
I want to go out and I want to drink beer and I want to have a good time.
I did that I shot 9 the other day. I did that right before I took my first swing. I clanked the house. It's just not for me. Some things just don't work with me, and that's one of those things.
Speaking of baseball, a story just popped into my head. I think it was the hardest I've ever laughed in my life.
I guarantee you, I bet $100 that I think I know what you're gonna say.
Okay, so JV baseball game. I can't remember what this is, right? So we're over there with Morrow, and I think it was my freshman year. It was my freshman year, and Paul and I made the trip, and of course we're at Mount Vernon, and it is so cold and rainy.
Maybe I don't remember this.
It's just a disgusting day. Every time we ever went to Mount Vernon to play baseball, every Saturday morning doubleheader.
Yeah, it was rainy and disgusting.
It's atrocious.
Yeah.
It's always just so bitter cold. And I'm sitting
early April.
And they have a really cool field because like the dugouts sit down into the ground, kind of like the major league dugouts do, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there outside of the dugout on the bucket, and Paul's sitting there next to me, and there's a foul ball, but you didn't know it was foul, and you were running, and you had to grab someone else's helmet. It was so tight. It was like this, just suffocating your face, and you made that turn, and you were going to score. You're like pumping.
Ball
like,
in the mail.
Like this, and
oh man,
it was a foul ball, and Mara was like this, like
I
foul,
do remember that.
and
Now.
you ran right past him, and all the way home, and you were like high fiving people, and like they're like, dude, go back to second base, you're a moron. It was just I don't know what, but it made me like being 14. That was the funniest thing ever. I just dropped to the floor, and like
I'm shocked that it wasn't when I was pitching and hit that kid in the nose and broke his nose. That was how do you even do that?
I think that was a year before me.
How do you let a ball hit you in the nose? How do you not like shield? Like,
thanks for coming to my defense. I was kind of making fun of myself there. I mean, I just was when I was pitching, it's weird. I either pitched like really well or it was a shit show and I was out there in an inning and a half. Like it was my hitting.
Yeah.
I'd bomb one or I'd fucking strike out.
But I mean, I can only imagine, someone, coming here and a ball's just coming right at their face and they just like drop their hands and just like lean out into it and just get.
It wasn't more like that. It was more like my ball tilted backwards and gained velocity and just hit him in the nose when he turned his body like a normal person would swing.
Those pitches are harder than you think because something happened to Ben where he got hit in the nose. Obviously, he knows what he's doing, so I guess it can.
That's true.
Happen to anyone, because you would think the same thing. But I guess particular situation, it just has to be just right. It's like Randy Johnson hitting the bird.
Hitting a bird, yeah.
Hey, it's like football. Like, look, I hit people pretty hard. My brain's probably a little bit not where it should be, okay? But it's like baseball. The same thing. You know what you're getting yourself into. You know that there's a chance you get nailed, whether you're on the pitcher's mound or – all right, what do you want to do? Like, what do you want to do about it? You can't eliminate the situation. Like, it's either are you going to complain about – and Ben didn't complain, obviously. You know what I mean? But that kid from Willard, he was –
crying like a little bitch.
Yeah. He was glad Mommy came to that game. That's for sure.
Deservedly so, but still a little bitch.
I have another story. This was football, another terribly rainy night at Ashland, week 10 of your senior year.
Why is it always raining?
So I knew one of the refs that was like kind of like the back judge, and obviously I communicated with him being a captain, but he also refed basketball, so I kind of knew him through that. So like anytime anything would happen, he would always kind of come to me first, which was nice. But you came out of the field. Obviously, I remember you were like super sick, like barely able to.
I had mono.
Yes, yeah. Right. So you're just basically out there just to do it one last time, right? And you were out of it. You were over it. You were just. It was just not a great situation, obviously. Like especially next to seniors. And I'll just never forget. Like I forget what the ref said something super non-threatening, like something like, "But hey, 27, buckle up your helmet or something. It's loose." And you turned back and gave him this just blank like mouth like just death stare like as if he just said, "Hey, 27, I just effed your mom at halftime in the porta pot." Like
yeah.
And you just looked at him for something like saying like, "Hey, 27, tie your shoe," or "Hey, 27, put your buckle." He goes, "What do you go back to the sideline?" He literally kicked you. He made you leave the field. And he goes, "What was with that guy?" I'm just like, dude, it's just a tough night, man. Like, we're down. It's like,
well, no, I mean, don't give me the benefit of the doubt. I was an angry football player. I mean, I wasn't a nice person on the field.
Right.
I like to hit people. I really did. I think that was the only part about football I liked, actually. I didn't really like the schematics of it. No, that's kind of a lie. I kind of do like. I do like strategy and things like that, but more like I formation, like repetitive pummeling up front.
Now, is that the physicality of it, or is this an IQ situation?
No, I mean, no. I have definitely 100%. I have an IQ for the offensive side. I would say the defensive side of the ball. Surprisingly, I don't know as much about how to tie blitzes in. With coverages, I'm definitely clueless about. If I were to ever like get into coaching for any reason, I would never You know, if I was a head coach, I definitely would need somebody knowledgeable that knows that side of the ball. But as far as, offense, I'm not opposed to spraying it out. I mean, you got to play with what you got.
Yeah.
In my opinion, if you got, a young team, you know what you got to do. You got a young, like for instance, if I were the head coach of my senior year, what I would have done is said, okay, obviously our offense is going to be lacking. We've got a senior. We got AJ played bunch. We got like 4 athletes on offense, 2 seniors on the line. What do we got to do? Well, obviously our defense, we're going to get shredded because we have 2 seniors. So we got to chew clock, right? We didn't have the biggest line, but I could run through people, and TJ and Colin could sub in, and Joe, you didn't have to throw the ball down the field all the time. You could run. You know what I mean? We could do short passes, but if we chewed the clock more, it's not even a slight on you.
Just went full triple option, Navy style.
No. I'm not even talking like that. I'm just saying, look, if we're playing a team like Madison or Clear Fork that we could have won, or Shelby or Ontario we could have beat, we should have chewed the clock more, because when they were on offense, they scored quick, and then we 3 and out. I mean, right. It's no slight to you, Joey. Nobody was open half the time. I mean,
well, also
you were young. You guys were young.
Yeah, and also, I think a lot of that was I did, purposely miss a lot of throws so I could get my punting stats up, and I feel comfortable.
Oh yeah, choice. Yeah.
You guys had no idea. Now that I look back, I was in complete control of everything. If I wanted to pump the ball and AJ was open, I could throw it in the dirt, and I'm like, I'm gonna put this at the 1. If it's gonna help me do whatever, we may not win, but I'm gonna get some punts in here. The leg needs to be active.
Oh yeah, no, I mean we're like the Cleveland Browns, like, you know what I mean? Like, we found a way to lose. We found a way to lose. We found a way to lose.
Oh my god.
It was incredible.
You remember at the very beginning of the season during this is another story, Blueberry Festival, and we're on the
float.
And
what did I do?
So listen, I'm sitting next to you, and Coach Gerhardt is right there, and someone yells out down there right by the drive-through, the little beer stop or whatever it's called, right? And someone goes, "Are you guys gonna win some games?" This old lady, "Are you guys gonna win some games this year?" And you get up,
"Oh no,
no, ma'am, state champs." And Gerhardt grabbed you. He goes, "You shut the hell up! Like, what are you doing?"
I don't know if
you proceeded to go 0-10.
Hey, you got to come out swinging, man. I mean, I don't know anybody who ever got anywhere without taking. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, hey, look, I'm not by any means like, I acknowledge that, like, hey, we kind of came to America from Europe, just kind of took the land. I get that, and I get it might hurt some people's feelings, but so did that happen everywhere ever that ever existed? Right. Everywhere ever that ever existed. People come in and take things, and that's the same thing you take to life. If you want a job, you want a promotion, go take it. Like, what are you waiting for, stupid? Mm-hmm. Like, what do you actually want? What are you going to get by just sitting idly? What's the valor and honor in that anyways?
Yeah.
When you get something handed to you. I mean, look at how many rich kids get hooked on drugs and commit suicide. I mean, seriously, they have everything handed to them and they're depressed. I don't know any, so I think that's like the beauty of, football and really anything in life that can make a difference. Off my soapbox, I guess, but.
No, that's 100% true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta declare victory before the competition.
It's like a dog. Started. It's like a dog pissing on a stop sign. It's exactly. Like, this is mine.
Yep.
Like, this is mine, bitch. Back off. He doesn't even, you know what I mean? Exactly.
Speaking of rich, Ryan, do you remember? I think it was, where were we at when Ben had a baseball tournament? Myrtle Beach or something?
Oh, yeah, we were little. We were like, I was in like 8th grade. You were like
junior high, and I think
you were shorter than me.
Oh, I was so short.
You were tiny.
It was, speaking of rich kids, do you remember this is how I got my phone taken away for like the 5th time and for forever. Then out, we wrote up like some like Lexington diss track in my notes, and my mom ended up finding it, and there was just so much vulgar language.
It was like, well, we were obsessed with Eminem. Like,
right, we wanted to make like an Eminem diss track. We're like,
we would have legitimately voted for Eminem for president. Like we were that into Eminem. Like everybody has that weird thing they were into, or that weird like girls are like, oh my god, I love Kesha. Like I don't know. I mean, my roommate's girlfriend is 23 years old.
Other people that you could have said.
My roommate's girlfriend's 23 years old and still like loves Kesha, and like so they'll like play. They're like playing Super Mario on the Wii.
Oh
I'm like sitting here in my chair, like not paying attention. And she's like quizzing him on which Kesha song's on. Like, babe, which Kesha song is this? And like, and it's just like, I just want to like, I would rather probably hear Nails on a Chalkboard. I love my roommates to death, but like, I'd rather probably hear Nails on a Chalkboard.
Are they there with you right now?
They are in their room. But my buddy Luke Watson, who I want to talk about a little bit, is here.
Yep.
Luke is a country artist. He's from Belleville, actually, with Clear Fork. Joe, he graduated the same year as you, 2015, right? No, 16. I was 15. I don't remember years. I just remember important stuff.
Yeah.
So Luke plays in a bunch of different bars. He's been my buddy since we were literally babies. His mom and Linda, they were friends, really good friends. So Luke owns a bunch of classic cars. He, like me, like you, I would say someone who's kind of stands out as a little unique. So he's right here next to me. He's gonna hop on. He's wearing a Wiener King t-shirt. You're gonna love that.
Oh, hell yeah!
Ohio. Those? You are legit Mansfield, Ohio. If you're wearing a Wiener King t-shirt,
that's so sick.
Luke, he's got the Wiener King on the back.
For the Mansfield people, the Mansfield listeners right now are just losing their mind right now. They're flocking right to Wiener King.
50% of them hate Luke because they think he's in the mob, and 50% of them love Luke because Wiener King the mob. You never.
Oh yeah, the Wiener King Mafia story.
Yeah.
We're alienating like 70% of the people who are listening, probably. But by talking about this, they'd be like, "Oh yeah, and this is the part you skip through because we don't know what they're talking about." But Wiener King's the it's the shit.
Yeah.
I when I was working construction,
Mansfield staple.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So
the champagne of Mansfield restaurants.
Welcome to the
Bush Light.
The Bush Light of Mansfield in terms of restaurants.
Yeah, I would say. Well, I don't know. Coney Island's right up there.
Coney Island is a classy establishment. Now watch your
depends upon who you ask. I mean,
what about Decker Depot? That RIP.
Dude, don't disrespect that.
I'm not.
Rest in peace, Angie Wyrick from Decker's Depot. Listen,
that place had the best breakfast.
Yeah. So, but like, you could get your fill of whatever. Fox News, eggs, burnt eggs. Okay, cigarettes, your secondhand smoke on demand.
Perfect.
All right. Everybody that worked there was a crackhead, but Joe, the old guy. Yeah, I'm counting on my fingers. Yep. Everybody was. I'm Italian. I use my hands when I talk. Everybody was a crackhead, but Joe, the old guy, had prostate cancer. And I used to walk home from school freshman year, and Miss Angie was tweaked out on crack, and I would go in there and I'd give her $10, and she'd I'd pay for a pop, and she'd drop a can of dip in my backpack. Like I'd leave it by the door. I was like 13, and she was like, and then she actually overdosed on heroin, so that's why I RIP to Angie. But she was truly sweet. Well, I mean, she's plagued by a disease. I'm not making light of that. I'm taking a comedic approach to that story. But I mean, I mean, bad people get, that's a disease, I believe. But that's just me. But hey, buddy, what's up?
What's going on? I'll let you roll with it.
Yo,
are you just gonna sit here and not talk?
I'll talk.
You got the country thing going on. Is the stigma true? I feel like everyone just country music. You're just gonna sing about beer and the boys and the summer and the campfire and that girl that broke your heart, man.
See, I hate that shit.
Yeah. So break it right here.
Oh, I did. I already broke it with my.
Give us some of your. I
wrote a song. I tell you what. I wrote a song. It's on iTunes right now. This is what, like, you just find these things. You write them every day. You come up with these random ideas. Yeah. So I thought, okay, like old country music was the way they just wrote it, and it was like pretty true, like, but it told stories. Yeah. So like this song I just wrote, it's about how you live in a small town and everybody's got rumors floating around.
Oh,
and that instantly clicked, and I thought, I got to write a song about that. So I did.
Yeah, it's on iTunes.
Yeah, it's on iTunes. It's called
Where
Rumors.
can we
It's on
find
iTunes, Spotify.
What's your full name? Like, what can people type in so they can find all your stuff?
Oh, just Luke Watson. That's my real name.
LukeWatsonMusic.com.
I'm going to go.
Yeah, LukeWatsonMusic.com. I also have an Instagram, LukeWatsonMusic_. Woo.
He's not limited to country. I mean, he can play.
No, I pretty much try to sing everything.
I'm a classic rock nerd, so he when I go, he likes to throw some Zeppelin, Pink Floyd in there, make me happy.
There we go. I just downloaded Rumors.
Did you? You got it downloaded?
Yeah, it's on my Spotify now.
Sometimes, actually, it's funny. Sometimes, like, we'll have.
Is it the one where it's a picture of me in front of the old car?
It is.
Cool.
What
That's a car. That's one of my cars.
Yeah. He drove around Columbus. Listen to this. So he drove around Columbus. So he has the exact same car from Christmas Vacation or Family Vacation.
It's not the exact same car, but yes, it's an old Woody Station wagon.
It's the same color
Yeah.
as Clark Griswold. So this dude drives down to Columbus for fun, not for any other reason, but with a Christmas tree on top of his car. It just goes around and honks at people. I'm serious. All over Columbus. People were posting on Facebook. Like, random people were like, this guy's Clark Griswold honked at me today. And, like, I'm just like, wow, I'm seeing this on my – I know that.
We was driving down I-76 back home from Akron, and I had that Christmas tree on top of my car going like 70 miles an hour. You wouldn't believe the people that would just pull up beside me and just like this and like take photos of it. And they're like, what the hell? It was crazy. But it's definitely a good time. It was fun.
That's amazing. Okay, guys, before I'm cheap. I don't have the pro account, so it's gonna kick us off here in 4 minutes. So we're gonna exit this, save it, and then we'll get back into this. Sound good?
Sounds great.
Okay.
Is that my song playing?
I think that's what I'm hearing.
No, now people are gonna be so freaked out. Everyone's different on the screen now. I'm still in the same spot, but Ryan, now you're like up in the top left, and now Snowman's just chilling at the bottom. I love it.
Oh, that's not what you were talking about, is it? What I'm doing with my screen.
Nope, your screen's good. I'm just saying you're in a different location. When's the last time you seen The Hangover, Coop? Do you remember? You know who loved that movie?
You're gonna say Ken Christ? Yeah.
He always text you guys about it. Like, I remember for spring break, he goes, "Yeah, I think I'm gonna be washing my car," because he always was in like old cars.
Corvettes. He was into Corvettes.
And
he goes to all the Corvette shows.
I remember you showing me a text from him. It was probably like a group to you and Dover, and it was just like,
it was me and Brett Pauley.
I'm going to be watching a certain movie involving a baby, a Mercedes, and Las Vegas over spring break.
8th grade math teacher. He's Ken. Yeah, so he's like one of my favorite teachers that I ever had. Just an all-around great guy. In fact, I think, when you were a senior, you had to pick one teacher that impacted you the most over I think that's who I picked. He was my favorite. But yeah, he used to always joke I just remember from him, get a shovel, dig it out. Like, he thought that was the funniest thing, but it wasn't even funny, and that's what was so funny. The funny part was that he smirked when he said it.
Right.
He was just he reminded me so much of Dave Capel.
Yeah.
Humor, similar humor. Dave Capel, again, probably second for me. Those two, I had Cable for 3 years. Like, I literally took every course that I could.
Would you fail economics 3 times?
No, I didn't. No. There was AP Gov, and economics. I think I took
Gov and AP Gov?
AP Gov and Gov? What?
I don't know. I forget. Like, my brain's gone since then. I don't know where. Yeah, I can't remember what I ate for lunch yesterday. I don't remember what the classes were called. I didn't fail anything, but I had it 3 times. Right. That's all I know.
Okay, you don't have to get so defensive.
Yeah, whoa, man, chill.
I'm chill. Just driving home the point, you know?
We remember, so Snowman, you missed out on this, but Coop, can we just talk about what a jungle war zone octagon the junior high was, and Mr. Ferguson's last year as principal?
Mr. Ferguson had like the same capability to lead as Joe Biden.
And I'm not going to comment on that. I'm just going to say he had you know the expression, you had 1 foot out the door? He was out the door and like 5 miles past, like flipping everyone off. Like he did not give an F.
No, Ferguson was like that guy that like just got – this is not what he actually did. I'm not saying this. This would be defamation. I'm just making a comparison. He acted like somebody that was happy to get divorced after 35 years. Like, just peace out. Like, I'm buying a convertible. I'm putting on sunglasses. Get in a fight. I won't throw you in detention.
He's Stanley Hudson when you see him in the office, and then remember when he gets down to Florida and he rents the Camaro and he's got the hat and he's wearing like the linen suits. Like he was like that. And literally, I remember one time walking through the hallway, like in between classes, and Joey Sereni was out there just MFing nobody, like just to nobody. He was just MFing like just the hallway. And Mrs. Schuster, and it's at the end of the year. And she was just like, everyone was just so, the teachers are so just like worn out by the end of the year, just all the nonsense they have to deal with. And she was just like, Joey, could you just stop? Like she didn't scold him.
It was anarchy.
That was it.
It was anarchy.
It was. The inmates were running.
I never got to experience all this shit, man. You're 2 years older than me. Joey, you're a year older than me. So, you guys.
Yeah,
Joey
in Mr. Ferguson's America, Lexington Junior High under Mr. Ferguson, the Ferguson administration. I'm just comparing it to politics because that's literally what it is. That's what schools are. It was craziness. It was literal like, hey, nobody cares. Get kids.
What were the school dances like as an 8th grader?
It was like
there
college.
was inappropriate contact.
And they would play any song. Like one time.
It was sluttier than prom. Sluttier than prom.
Oh, it was.
By far.
Especially with the girls. And like, okay, so you could play any song you wanted. They would just play the clean version. You could go up to the DJ. They played Drop the World at the junior high school dance. Like,
and Ferguson was probably in the corner with BJ Payne going like,
and they would always announce over the loudspeaker like no grinding, no inappropriate dancing, and then you would go in there and it would just be all the teachers standing around and just the girls just like turnpiking, just losing their minds. Like I don't even know what you would call it. It was just a tornado of ass, just swirling in hot, sweaty, old, disgusting, mold.
Oh my God!
Gym.
Oh, what it would be to be young again.
There was a literal, because that building was built in 1610, there was a makeout hallway. There was lockers, and they went, and I literally, I was trying to break the record. Like, I was trying to break the record of, like, how many girls can I make out with in this hallway?
How many was it? How many?
Oh, I don't count. I don't count stuff like that. I'm not.
You were going for the record. How do you not count?
I don't remember. Well, I did back then, but I did back then. I did back then, but then I thought. Then I got older a little bit. Like every 2 years, your brain hits another level. Okay, so when your brain hits that
freaking ballpark,
when your brain hits that next level, you go, wait, that's 15. Kind of stalkerish and weird.
You don't give me a number.
Stop doing shit like that. You try to forget it. What?
Over under.
If you don't give me a number, I'm gonna assume it's 0.
26, I would say.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. That's unrealistic. That's unrealistic. That's unrealistic. I would say probably 12 to 13.
That's low. All right. Just good looking headshot there.
Good headshot right there. That's you needed that headshot.
That's my professional face.
If you had that headshot back in junior high, you would have made out with 26 girls, not 12.
It's true.
You would have had the record. Who has the record?
Probably not.
Who do you think has the record?
Of anybody that the three of us went to high school with, or any school with, who do you think would have the record?
I've never made out with a girl at school in my life.
Guy or girl? Because girl's an easy one. Girl's an easy one.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I know. See, I don't even know if we can. That's the funny thing.
No.
Because at the end of the day, you guys can do whatever you want. Whose name is on the podcast? It's mine.
It's just my guy.
Yeah, well,
let's use like
have you seen? Wait, pivot real quick. Have you seen the Epstein documentary yet?
I've seen a little bit of it.
Okay, you saw the first part where he's pleading the fifth.
Yeah,
Who was the girl that held the record for makeout hallways? Oh, it's not even close. Well, I plead the fifth. Okay, we'll just leave it there. Okay.
Why did you have to use the Epstein documentary? You literally could have used any.
Because that's the last thing I watched. That's the last thing I watched.
You can't remember anything. His brain's gone, remember?
That's up
I
to
already
head,
watched.
man.
I already plowed through SVU. Okay, I plowed through it.
But seriously, though, as they're asking those questions, did you do this illegal activity? I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth. It's like that you're saying yes without saying yes. Like, because if you didn't, you would say no.
Well, but this wasn't a yes or no question, leaving the answer still highly anonymous.
No. Yeah.
Hence my point.
Oh, what happened to the snowman?
Yeah.
No,
That's
Daniel
true.
Tosh.
No, in this situation, you are correct.
Daniel Tosh has a bit on this.
I digress.
It's so messed up. He's talking about the Sandusky trials, and it's like going on about like how when he was in court, someone asked him if he was attracted to like young boys or whatever, and he goes, and he hesitated. It's like he looked at his lawyer and was like, "Oh, how do you want me to answer that one?" And to which he replied, like, if you don't say no in 1 millisecond, you are guilty. And then he goes on this whole like, and he's just like, I just pray one day someone at my show doesn't stand up and go, "Beat me."
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Jerryson. I mean, wow. I mean, he's just the creepiest human being.
Guys all kind of look like that. That older, like gray hair, like the whole like Sandusky. They all
like Joe. What?
Oh,
hey,
this is not a political.
They all look like
Joe. It's not a political show. We'll get back to the country music. That's where we left off.
I'm so sorry. I'm triggered. Okay.
Jail, brother. Yeah. So what were we talking about, Luke? We were talking about. I think we left off. You were talking about all the pictures people were taking when you're driving down the road.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. Dude. The craziest thing ever was when my mother, she wanted to buy a camper, so we drove all the way to Marion, Indiana, and I towed this 1973 classic looking like steel-sided camper, towing it with that old station wagon. That there is something that has probably not been seen in the United States probably since the 70s, when they had those big, long-ass cars with these hitches that would tow these long, trailers, and they would just go on vacations.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Was it like an Airstream camper?
No, it was a lot of it was from a small company in Indiana. See, Indiana at one time was the recreational vehicle capital of the world. Yeah. They had so many different factories there. Elkhart, Indiana is actually the capital of that. Check it out. It's pretty interesting. No, it's just an old camper. It's in really good shape, and we bought it. And we go camping in it and tow it with my car, and it just looks really cool. And I get a lot of compliments. They're like, "Man, that is so cool. You come pulling in here with that. That's Americana right there."
Yeah.
Wow, that is pretty cool. So,
Luke, I want to ask you this. Everyone who kind of goes in like the show business entertainment route, I always feel like has someone that they looked up to, or there was like a moment in their life as they were growing up, and for some reason it just connected, it just clicked. And do you have that person or that moment that you remember was just like, wow, like this is something like someone does, like this is just their life, like this is what they do for a living, and that moment where it clicked and you were like, man, I would love to pursue this. Like I want to do this. This is the person I look up to, and I want to emulate them and make this my own.
I would honestly say it was Kurt Cobain.
Wow.
Because that was the dude that got me back into playing guitar. There was a time from when I was 8 to 11 where I played guitar, and then I went to pursue my career in golf. I don't know if he told you this, but I was actually one of the top golfers in the state when I graduated. Oh, I had a full ride to Southern Illinois University, but the only reason why I didn't go was because I just didn't feel like schooling was for me in that respect. But yeah. But
what's your best round of golf?
I can say a 34 for 9 holes at Deer Ridge.
Okay.
On the front.
Jesus Christ. That's where I played today. I shot a crisp like 47 on the front 9.
Yeah.
Still about 18 points higher than what I would have scored, or 18 points lower.
Strokes?
Yep. Strokes.
Yep.
Point.
Yep.
Strokes. Yep.
I love golf.
You still golf
Heck
though?
Yeah, I do. Kind of out of commission right now. I got into a bad car accident back in February left me with a broken humerus bone, so that's recovering right now. I've been doing physical therapy, whatnot. But as soon as it gets back into the limbo of things, I can't wait to get back out on the course.
That's great. We'll have to get together when we're back when you're healthy. I'd love to play some golf. It'll be fun.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
All right, man. Sweet. What other Lexington stories? I'm in a mood tonight. I want to tell some Lexington stories.
Well, why limit it to just Lexington? I mean,
we can tell.
Coop, let's hear just the wildest, like not censored, but
the most unique story from each person's high school. Yeah, just something fun.
From high school or since high school?
Just anywhere in your life. Coop.
Let's start with Lexington. Let's start with Swellsville.
Okay. So it happened after I graduated and after you graduated, Joey. I think after all of us graduated. No, I don't remember. But that fight against Worcester, the basketball.
Oh, that was my senior year. Yeah.
Oh, I was there. I was in that a little bit. I got
that was the Worcester, not the at Worcester camp. My basketball game my senior year against Worcester when the parents broke out.
Yes.
We've talked about this. We talked about this with BJ, with Coach Payne.
We did.
Yeah, I was in there. I was in the front lines.
There's a video of somebody from up in the round, like up towards the top of the gym, and you just see Coop in his oversized Carhartt jacket leaping over the railing and jumping into the fucking fire. It's absolutely legendary.
It's legendary.
Yeah, it was a great moment in my life. I really BJ Payne taught me a lot. I honestly love BJ Payne. I have not watched the full podcast with him yet. I will watch that. I will watch the rest of that. Oh yeah, he's one of my favorites. Huh?
So what the hell?
That's a good one.
I know. Well, I know. I got sidetracked when I was watching it, so I need to finish it. But that guy, absolute legend. I mean, just he was front page news. Like the high school football coach was the most famous person in town by a long shot.
Yeah,
he was very fun to talk to, and it was really fun for us because we hadn't talked to him in fucking years.
Yeah,
and
he's a figure.
Yeah, and the second we got on with him, it was I was in 7th and he was in 8th grade. He's a gym teacher, talking, shooting the shit. It was awesome, absolutely.
Yeah,
awesome.
He remembers. He has a great memory. He remembers everyone. Yeah,
which is really cool.
I've seen him twice. I've seen him twice in the last few years. I keep up with Coach Scheid regularly. Yeah. Coach Scheid was by the end of it, if I say going into high school, obviously Coach Payne was the coach that I liked the most. But then Coach Payne, left after my freshman year. I would say consistently, and I love Coach Gerhard. I love Coach Stu. But
yeah, I'll tell Greg you said fuck off. How about that?
No, what I'm saying, that I had for multiple years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I had Greg for 2 years, actually 1 year or 2.
1 year.
I think 1.
I
had Scheid all 4 years. I love I remember when I turned my helmet and equipment and I was I just made it out of my way to go say Coach Scheid. I appreciated him. I loved Coach Scheid. Nobody was more excited than me that he got the job.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my guy.
What about Coach Rastetter?
Oh, I mean, he's a clown.
He used to have the best stories because he would just MF people. If you were the right person, he would just MF you and pick on you in the junior high.
It's terrifying.
No,
the junior high is terrifying.
Coach Rastetter was a scary dude. I mean, he's a big bad dude. He's a bad dude. He is not somebody you want to mess with.
I will never forget. This is my favorite Coach Rastetter story of all time. It's the whole combination of things. Junior high football, 7th grade. He's my head coach, and when were those games? Tuesdays at 4:30 or something stupid.
Yeah, they were Tuesday. 8th grade was Wednesday.
Yeah, and we were freaking playing, and Brady Purdue went out with a migraine.
Okay.
And so Skylar and this guy named Skylar only knew where to line up all he knew, he didn't know what position he played. He just knew he played on the line that he lined up next to Brady. And when Brady wasn't out there, and of course Brady didn't tell anybody, so no one could sub in. And also I don't think we had anyone to sub in. And so Skyler's out there like, what the, like literally out on the field, like literally he's like out loud, like, what the F? Like, what the F? What the hell? Where the F? Brady? I don't know what the F to do. Like, he's literally like running like a dog chasing his tail, just like going in circles, like pirouetting, just saying like consistently, like.
Oh, absolutely.
And I was like out on the field, I was laughing so hard it almost knocked me over. Like out on the field, we were about to run a play. And
I was just like
I couldn't even say ready. I was laughing so hard. Then Rassiter calls timeout. We come over there, and he goes, and it was like terrifying. I was like trying not to like show my face because I like tears running down my eye in the middle.
Absolutely.
Laughing
You knew if he saw that you were laughing, you were toast. Like
So
you were
toast.
absolutely toast.
So I was like hunched over, like I was gonna throw up, and eventually when I got over there, I did fall down from laughter because he gets Bister over there. That was his face right there, and he goes, Coach, I didn't know where to line up. Brady wasn't out there, and he just kind of, and he goes, get the F off my football.
Yeah.
And then Bister, just like John C. Reilly in Step Brothers when he says he's going to get spanked next, just goes, yes, sir. And just like walks off the field. It was, and at that point, I literally like fell to the ground. I fell like my back hit the ground, and I was like.
There's so many Rastetter stories. I think you could do a podcast on them.
I took my hand towel off and put it in my mouth. That's how hard I was laughing.
Oh, yeah, just to stop laughing. Yeah, no. Actually, you know what's funny is Rastetter was a pretty good football coach. He had pretty good knowledge of the game.
Yeah.
He could have coached at a high school level. I think he did for a couple of years with Capel.
He maybe did.
I think he was on Capel's staff for a couple of years.
God.
I love to see Capel's back coaching. That's like my favorite. That's my favorite new development that I've seen. I like literally. I put a fist in the air. I love that when I saw that. I text the guy. He's a good guy.
Ben played for him.
My buddy.
7th or 8th grade. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Ben's a good dude. I can't. But like, I look at pictures of Ben, and I'm just like, this is insane. He like pitches and it's crazy. Like I can't even believe that. I can't believe how old I feel, and like how long I've been not around that area,
right,
or those people, and how many different things I've experienced in the world since then. I mean, very few people that I've known from that area do I still talk to daily. Like Luke, I talk to daily.
Yeah.
Okay, but I've known him since I was 4. You know, we don't. You know, we grew up together, but we all left.
We've been younger now. We've known each other since we were
You get
like
the damn
babies.
point. You get the point. Wait,
Yeah.
I didn't know you when I was a baby. I couldn't think. I didn't even know what a carrot was, but I was eating it. Like you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. But
that's not really like.
I mean, there is a photo of us. Like we were like literally, I was probably shitting in my pants. we were both
Coop was
looking.
eating
We were
carrots
sitting
and
there,
they
man.
were.
The
We
point.
were looking at a camera
This
straight
is
on.
so off topic. This is like the.
What happened?
That is what.
What do you mean off topic?
That took a left, like somewhere.
There is no left. This has been a tornado swirling. This is what it is. It's just, it's everywhere. It's everything. It's fluid.
I have a feeling that even if we would have tried to have some structure to this,
There was no idea of that.
there's no chance.
No.
It's like driving a bulldozer through the red brick part of the Lexington Junior High. Like, it's gonna topple. Like, you don't need dynamite.
I don't think
like,
you have
that
to
thing's
specify
falling
the
over.
red brick at Lexington Junior High. I think if you drive a bulldozer through anything, it's going to topple.
Nah, I mean, it depends.
Will they ever get rid of the red brick? Did they get rid of the red brick?
No, it's
Once
not
the-
standard.
They can. It's a historical monument.
Well, yeah, that's what they said to Belleville School, and look what happened there.
Well, yeah, he's from that's his neck of the.
Hey,
Built
neck
the
of the
same
woods.
year, actually.
Luke,
Funny story.
what elementary school did you go to?
Belleville.
You went to Belleville? My mom's
Yeah.
the principal at Butler.
Yeah. Belleville was built in 1894. Butler was built in 1915. They were the some of the oldest operating school buildings in the state, and the red brick is still one of them.
Yeah.
Because it was built the same year as Belleville, 1894.
Wow.
Fun facts.
That's a really cool fact. Actually.
He's like your Richland County freaking.
I'm a
Bill
history.
Nye's-
I'm a history nut.
Yeah.
I love history.
He's a walking Richland County auditor.
Probably.
I'm like a walking map. Maps are what more my game.
Maps. You are. I remember that. You're really good at directions.
Yeah. I just don't even like. For instance, if you were to say, "Hey Ryan, we got a business conference in St. Louis tomorrow. You send me the address." I wouldn't even plug in my GPS. I just drive to St. Louis, and then when I was close to St. Louis, I'd plug the address in. Like I don't. You could do that really anywhere. That's kind of a shitty example because it just takes 70 from Columbus to St. Louis. But
that's pretty cool, though.
You know what I mean? Like I never feel uncomfortable. Like my mom, she gets lost. You know, she I can't remember if I turned left on Lexington Spring Mill to get home from here. You know, that would never bother me because I know where I'm at. Like I know where I'm physically located at all times. Like it doesn't.
It's a geo tracker.
Yeah,
finger.
it's really weird, and I get like it's like my nerdy thing. Like it's like my every time I go, like I'm a repeat offender when it comes to North Carolina. I go there a lot. Okay, I go to North Carolina a shit ton.
People are saying you like North Carolina. Some other people are saying other things. That's all I know. 10-17.
Yeah, people are saying that.
Well, you see, here's the thing. I took a break from North Carolina. Now I frequent there again. It's under much different.
How does North Carolina feel when you go to?
We need to have a whole nother podcast to describe.
How's North Carolina feel when I go to South Carolina?
Let's address the elephant in the room. Let's talk about 10-17.
No! God, that'll take forever.
Ryan, in your own words, can you explain 10-17?
I would assume that that's just a number, a 1017. I can't. I don't think we can do this. This is like politics.
It's so much more than a number.
We're gonna put this in the politics basket.
Okay. Well, we'll get Luke back on. We'll talk. We'll do it separately. Then we'll send it to you.
No, I
don't even know what it is. I think it's just one of those things. It's like telephone. Like it starts with a story, and then everyone adds in detail later on, and it just ends up being this.
And then you got Mrs. Bigley asking the whole class, "What's 1017?" Nobody has any idea what it is, but like me and one other person. It's not really even a thing. It's just a conglomerate idea, like people going.
It's like an ideal, like an idea.
That like an idea.
Interpret
but it's like. But it's like every time I check the clock, like it's one of those things. Like when you check the clock, it's always like there when we were in junior high, right? We would check the clock and during the summer, and for some reason it'd always be like 2:21 or whenever we got out from school, or 2:34.
Yeah.
It was in high school. Or you see like you check the clock and it's 9:11, and then for us it's like you check the clock and it's 10:17. Literally, I was taking a walk last night. I shuffled music and Springsteen came on and it was 10:17.
Well, yeah, there's even a new song that's out by a country singer called Ryan Hurd. That if you know, kind of a thing with this whole kind of, So the way I'd explain to it to people who are listening, going, these guys are getting weird. Like, did they just take shrooms before the second intermission because we're talking about something no one understands, which is fine. But how most kids have like a. Like there's a haunted house down the street. Like there's a group of friends and they're convinced like there's a haunted house, but some old lady lives there.
Right.
Or they have a fort in the woods where they think they see like trespassers.
Yeah.
And they go there all the time. This was like a curse that formed out of a few different things. A number. It was it was really just a
not
number.
a number.
It was a date, but it was also a time.
Right.
And
space-time continuum.
And then like it really wasn't like a whole like manifesto for it per se. It was just more like that number, date, and time kept affecting people when something crazy would happen to them.
Yeah.
And not something anyone would say crazy, but like a girlfriend thing or something weird.
Yeah.
And
high school drama, high school problems.
Yeah, high school stuff.
Right.
And so it really, but it came to the point where like people would just walk around school and say it. And Mrs. Bigley, I'll never forget this. Mrs. Bigley stood up and asked the whole class. She goes, "Does anybody know what 1017 is? I keep hearing about it." And I'm sitting back and I'm like looking around, just like trying to hold it in. Like I'm trying not to laugh because no one knows. And Morgan Collins raised her hand. And he goes, "I think it's about me." And it's just like, no, it has nothing to do with you. But like, it's nothing to do with you at all. But like, that's what's so funny about it. Like people were writing it on lockers and people were like, the whole big secret was to know what it was. And it really was in effect,
and there was
nothing.
like 5 or 6 people that really knew.
Yeah, and I mean, even then, it's kind of hard to decipher unless you experienced our weird, kind of fucked up puberty, I guess. That's kind of the way it was. I mean, you're going through, like, do I like girls? Like, do I want to marry a girl? Like, you know, weird shit you think when you're 15, you think it's cool. And then when you're 22, you're like, that sounds awful. Like, I mean, I don't know.
Right.
Like, to me, at least for me.
I would say Mr. Ruth as the perfect explanation for junior high. It's like it's a good time. It's a weird time, but you never want to do it again. Like that whole like phase of your life.
Junior high. It's not like a good. Okay, so like junior high, they, you know, it's weird. Like, there's this like
coming of age,
like fear. There's this fear campaign, and it's really weird. Like, your parents never try to scare you, like, oh, monsters aren't real or stuff.
You got to
like
get ready for high school.
Yeah, no. But junior high, it's the worst. Like, junior high, they put the fear of God into you. They just go, you're going to junior, and there's all these shows about people get bullied in junior high, and that's a whole different world. And you're mixing with the other element.
Right.
And it's really like,
you had a Dr. Phil
okay, in Clear Fork example, it's Butler and Belleville. Those two fucking places are no different from one another. Like,
they're the exact same.
Like, just like the exact same people.
It's like Central and Eastern, or Central and
Western. Yeah.
Exactly.
Who cares?
Exact same kids.
Do you think anyone remembers by the time you're juniors in high school what elementary school you went to? Only if you went to the same one.
People would
you
ask
remember
me
like
what
5
elementary
people.
school I went to, and I couldn't tell them. I'd be like, wait, I went to Central, I think. Like, I don't have that advanced CTE, but I also don't kick in college.
Coop,
that's the way to go.
Coop,
I know, dude.
I go.
No, I'm not gonna lie. My buddy's cousin was a walk-on punted at Akron for a year, and he's like, dude, it's the best. Like,
I choose to be involved in like the offense and stuff because I want to.
Yeah, for sure.
But if you get good and you're a good punter or kicker or whatever, and you just go to college and do that, you don't do shit.
No, and I was just joking with you. I was just making. I was just making a pointed joke. But I know and I appreciate it. But for all those out there listening that might be aspiring kickers, because I know I have fans that watch this show, and you know I gotta let them know. You have your fans.
Oh no, we got about 9 minutes. I want to wrap up. Coop, do you remember the DC trip that we got to take with Howard Hoffman?
That might have been the funniest thing I've ever seen. So, Howard Hoffman.
On the way there, it's just okay. So first off, just to paint the backstory. So people, they don't do it anymore, but like in junior high, for the most part, like schools, you could go to take a DC trip, and they allowed 7th graders to go that year because it was the last year they were doing it. Mr. Hoffman, who ran it forever, was retiring. So Coop and I went. And first off, on the bus ride there, like Hoffman, it was his last year. He didn't give an F about nothing. Literally, for some reason, someone had stepbrothers, and we took one of those charter buses, and they literally were playing.
Oh, yeah.
And we made it all the way through the nut sack on the drum set before he was finally like, I think we should turn this off.
That's funny.
That's funny.
You didn't even know. Sorry about that. My iPad. Yeah, my iPad is just not charging. It's on the charger. It's at 1%.
So funny. So we do that, and then remember, just like, and it was just such an epic. And then remember, Ohio State played. Who they played? Kentucky. And they
yeah, we were all in the hotel. Or no, was it Tennessee or Kentucky?
No, I think it was Kentucky because I think it was Brandon Knight hit a shot for them. I want to say for Kentucky, and Buford missed a game winner.
Yeah,
you were pissed.
Was I pissed?
Oh yeah,
I love that. Yeah, William Buford. I saw him play against Lexington when he was at Toledo Libby.
I think we all did.
Were you there? You were like a little kid.
Yeah, I was there with Trayvon Avery and Harrison Benedict.
I saw Trayvon once after high school. He's a quality dude. Howard Hoffman's also a quality dude. I didn't get to see that.
He got pretty sauced at dinner, and I got in trouble when we went on that little like tour night because I was laughing so hard.
That little graveyard because Howard was just tanked. He was kids. Yeah, I don't know if he was actually tanked, but I don't know if he was actually tanked, but he was kind of goofy anyways.
I just remember Coop saying like all the time too. He was thinking about. He goes, "Yeah, I'm thinking about grabbing some O'Douls or something."
Oh yeah. You know me. I was always trying to get in a little sort of mischief. It was just the way it was going to be with me.
Yeah.
You know, I proudly grew out of that.
Yeah, you're good, man. Oh my gosh. Any closing remarks? This was great.
I think this is awesome because we literally have nothing scripted.
Nothing.
No, yeah, absolutely.
We just talked for an hour.
I'm sure,
and a half.
maybe a couple minutes is cuttable, but other than that, it was pretty good, I would say. What do you guys think? Agree?
I don't know, man. I don't care.
Just joking with you. No. It's good to talk to you guys. No, I've been exploring maybe starting something of my own, a podcast, because I think everybody should start a podcast. So I'm of the opinion that everyone that has a voice for any sort of issue or whatever should start one, whether it's just joking around like this or whether it's real stuff.
Yeah.
And a lot of the craziness, and I tend to, like I said, I love Joe Rogan. I watch that all the time. I tend to look at a lot of the problems and things and a lot of the things people are talking about, political, non-political, just things in life, and think there's a lot of gray area where a lot of people seem to think that things are black and white. So I definitely want to, like, if I were to start a podcast, I think that's what I would try to start it around, kind of have some people on to kind of just have some conversations about things, because it's our generation. Yeah. It's going to make or break whether or not we can fix this divide. But also, like, I also, I kind of like comedy, and I like to talk and joke about stupid shit and goof around and, talk about vacations and stories about people having too much to drink that are funny and stuff like that. And hopefully be able to have Luke on and some other people and promote stuff. So yeah, I'll have you guys on. Of course, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I'm not looking to get famous or anything from it, and it's probably going to be stupid. And I'm probably going to get nobody to watch it, but you never know, right? So
Coop, I would be very interested in watching you do a long-form just soapbox on whatever topic. No, just like whatever topic, like you said. You go into, a sporting topic, political, whatever it is. And I would just love to. I would 100% sit and listen to you talk.
I think the topic that I would probably want to start off with is like I took a couple shots earlier, whatever at one side. So, we grew up in a really nice community and everything, but some people just don't understand some stuff. Like, there's some people that go through other stuff than you. And I didn't really understand. And I didn't understand that until I moved to the city. And I lived in the city and I saw some different stuff. That's all I'm really going to say. And when I saw some different stuff, I saw, holy shit, I know why these people do this. And it just made more sense to me. And there's a lot of good people who just don't understand or haven't seen that world. And it's not that they don't like people. They just don't understand their struggle. Everybody struggles different. And I don't know. I think that's what my soapbox would be about. Stop being so, we got to be this way or this way. I mean, dude, there's a lot of things in between there and outside of there, that maybe perspective. Yeah, I'm a big fan of second opinions. Hey, should I go get this place to work on my car? Just have my car worked on. Ask 3 people. I fully well knew which one I thought I was going to pick, and I ended up picking it. But I asked 3 people. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just think that's smart to live like that.
Yep.
At the end of the day, though, you make the decision, you roll with it, and you make mistakes and all that good stuff. But yeah, no, I don't want it to be all serious. So if I were to do something, you'd believe there'd be some ridiculous shit on there too. I mean, I'm ridiculous. I would like to be, like I love characters like BJ Payne. Like, what a character that guy is. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could just, you don't forget that guy. If you met that guy, 100% chance you go to your grave remembering that guy.
That's right.
And
you are one of those guys.
It's not like I relish in that, but I kind of do, and that's kind of narcissistic. But whatever, we all have flaws, right?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things.
Well, this was
just
great.
another day. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Coop. Thanks, producer Snowman. Thanks to everyone who's listening. Joe Vore Podcast, Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. We're available. We'll talk to you guys on Monday.
Hey, and don't forget, LukeWatsonMusic.com. Shout out to my boy over here, Luke.
Apple Music, Spotify, check out all that stuff. Listen to Rumors. Yes, Luke Watson.
All right. See you, Joe.
Peace.